Chancellor Schroeder, Minister Weiss, President von Weizsäcker, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It is fitting for my first week in office to reflect on how the cultural heritage, the cultural diversity of Europe can further stimulate our future development and our policies, and how European integration can further enrich the cultural life throughout Member States. The timing of this conference is perfect. 2004 will be remembered as a year of many beginnings, a final agreement on the text of our European Constitution, on the institutional level a new Parliament, a new Commission, and above all, the date of an historic enlargement, or should we say, the year of European reunification. The organisers of this conference have chosen the Jacques Delors motto, "A soul for Europe." I agree that we will master the challenges ahead only if we do some soul searching. High-level public events like this Conference for European Cultural Policy are important contributions to the cross-border dialogue and to the emergence of a truly European public discourse. All the more so since this is a truly European event. This is why I did not hesitate to accept your invitation. And let me add that I take good note of the commitment of the German federal government to this initiative, as it is attested by the participation of Chancellor Schroeder, Minister Weiss, and also Minister Fischer. Last but not least, I also take good note of the fact that this initiative has been kicked off by experienced personalities from Berlin, which is yet another sign that this city is really at the heart of Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, the preamble of the Constitutional Treaty states that Europe is united in its diversity. These words are both reassuring and ambitious. They are reassuring because they positively acknowledge and thus protect the extraordinary richness of our national and regional cultures. These words are also ambitious because they emphasize that diversity does not mean division, but that it is rather the recognition of the richness of our diversity which enables us to unite. A sense of belonging to Europe is essential to forge that common destiny to which the Constitution refers. Our approach, based on our concept of human dignity, must reconcile identity and openness, dialogue and respect. Today, our common European destiny is not the result of historical accident, but of deliberate choice. The political will, the political elements that Chancellor Schroeder was referring to in his speech. Our European identity is plural, because it is made of the identities of each of the peoples of Europe in their diversities, as well as singular, because it is the expression of our decision to unite while recognizing and respecting our differences in a community of values and interests. The word identity can be a dangerous word, and in fact it is curious. The word identity does not appear in the European Constitution, our draft Constitution. The word identity can be a dangerous word when one identity is pitched against other identities. In the famous phrase of Renan, a French writer, speaking about the identity and the nationalism, he said once, "Nationalism is the hate of others, while patriotism is the love of our people." How can European policies take inspiration from our culture, its diversity, and its common heritage? We can think of our common values: freedom, democracy, justice, solidarity. All these values that Europe itself has so often offended in the past through nationalism and totalitarianism are now firmly enshrined in the draft Constitution. If we look at the way this result came about, we cannot but acknowledge that in order to be able to live together whilst preserving one's personal, local regional and national identities, what is needed is the promotion of openness, knowledge and exchange. This, in turn, creates respect and a culture of tolerance. In practical terms, the cornerstone of European Union action is the opportunity for European Union citizens to gain personal experience of what European citizenship and identity mean. The success of the project will first of all depend on Europeans themselves, but local, national and European institutions can play important roles in creating the conditions, in offering the opportunities which favour mutual knowledge and joint initiatives. A number of European Union programmes promote development of transnational cultural exchanges, the mobility of artists, the exchanges and active participation of students and young people. All of you will have heard of the Erasmus programme, which by now is one of the best known and best loved brand names in Europe, and in which so far over 1 million students have had the chance to participate. I ask myself very often why all the elites of Latin America or Asia want to go to have a PhD in the United States and why they don't want to come to Europe, to our great universities, and what we could do to have a real renaissance of European universities. The Commission's proposals for the next period of financial programming and for the new generation of programmes covering the period 2007 to 2013 send a clear message. They are ambitious, both conceptually and financially. They promote multilateral mobility and exchange and give a strong European added value to the action of national and local authorities and of civil society. The discussion of these proposals will, up to a point, be a litmus test of our willingness to go beyond words and to take our action beyond what it is today. If we really want to go further than what the Member States can do, either alone or bilaterally, if we want truly multilateral cooperation, the European Union must have adequate resources for this mission. During the first quarter of next year, the Commission will present a programme to enhance civic participation at European level. And we are also developing a new information and communication strategy. As long as there are no truly European TV and European media on a large scale, this requires a particular effort both at European and national level. And I hope that they can count on your input and your participation, because this is a task that cannot be shouldered by the Commission alone. Also, the Member States and the civil society can and should play a crucial role in reconnecting Europe with its citizens. My Commission is determined to protect and promote cultural diversity, as well as to bring our common cultural heritage to the fore, as it is required to do by the treaties. I see this conference as a sign of encouragement and of support to this dimension, and I count on you to actively, critically and constructively accompany our efforts. In this respect, it will be very important for this conference not to remain a one-off event. All of those who have followed the debate on the role of culture in the process of European integration over decades know quite well that wise words and ardent appeals for more culture in Europe and for more Europe in culture have been many, but modest in their consequences. Europe is not only about markets, it is also about values and culture. And allow me a personal remark. In the hierarchy of values, the cultural ones range above the economic ones. If the economy is a necessity for our lives, culture is really what makes our life worth. I wish you the very greatest success. Thank you once again for inviting me to be here today. I trust that we will continue to dialogue about Europe and culture we have started today. This is why I do not say goodbye, I do not say adieu, but I say auf Wiedersehen.